Listen, it's an honor to welcome to represents the speaker, the coach, the consultant, the author, and the executive director of the Canadian Congress on Inclusive Diversity and Workplace Equity, Alex Ihama. How are you, sir?
Doing very well. And thank you
Good.
for inviting me. I love your energy.
Thank you. No, I love your energy. We had a chance to meet a couple of weeks ago at the Resolutions 2023, Overcoming Racism Together. And like I told you in person, I love the energy. I love what you do for the community and beyond. So I'm like, why not? Let's just sit down and see, if we can soak in some of that, knowledge and with my viewers. So thank you very much for being here today.
The honor is all mine, my brother Ray.
Yes. So what led you to the work that you're doing right now?
Pain, 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 pain from my upbringing, pain that I see in the faces of people, pain that is everywhere. Everywhere is pain. Everywhere you look at, when that person drives you on the highway, almost drives you off the highway, and then sticks you the finger, is an indication of pain. That person who jumped off the bridge. Today is the 6th or 7th year anniversary of a friend of mine who was in Beverly Hills, an actor in Beverly Hills, worked with Will Smith and people like that. Called me 2 weeks before that, Alex, I want to do what you're doing. I'm tired of acting. I want to motivate. I want to inspire. And I told him I'm in Malawi. When I come back, I'm coming to Beverly Hills. We'll sit down and talk. Only for me to be in Malawi, they called me. He jumped off the bridge. Pain is what drove me to here. Pain that I saw in my mother's face growing up. Pain from the beating of telling me I'm not good, I'm a nincompoop, I'm a non-native. There was no name under the sun. They didn't call me. At a certain point in life, I decided to take hold of my life. And I said, when I saw that I was successful in it, I said, I'm going to go to the end of the earth to help people to understand the power of purpose. That in your pain is your purpose, in your mess is your message. What pains you the most is what you were created to do. So that's what has brought me to this level.
Yeah, I'm sorry about your friends. That's never a good thing. But I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. As I told you, I love the energy. I think everyone needs to have somebody on their team that's just like you, just
Yes.
a great motivator. I think it's something that comes natural for you. But drawing from your experience, how do you guide individuals in navigating workplace challenges, particularly in environments where racism, whether implicit or explicit, are prevalent?
The first thing I tell people is know who you are. People cannot write your story if you know your story. People cannot relegate you to the background if you know you're at the top. People cannot push you out of the way when they see the confidence in your face. I often say this. When you see me and the lion fighting, pray for the lion. People, you have to come to the place where you know who you are. The biggest challenge of humanity, race, white, green, yellow, purple, orange, it doesn't matter, is they don't know who they are. The reason somebody will take your food at your table is because you don't even know you are. I spoke to some kids yesterday in Brampton, and I told them three things I left them: speak up, rise up, and ask questions. Ask questions. So yes, there's racism without a question. I often say this and it shocks people. Racism is not going anywhere. Let that sink in, my friend. Murder is not going anywhere. Rape is not going anywhere. Killing is not going anywhere. Wars will never end. So if wars will never end, we want to end racism? No. We are here to create a better tomorrow. Just the way Martin Luther King did, Mahatma Gandhi did, Mother Teresa did. So the first thing I tell them is know who you are. The second thing I tell them is understand that this ain't going anywhere. You speak up, you cry up, you jump up, racism will be racism. Because as we are speaking right now, there are kids in an incubator. Their parents, knowingly or unknowingly, they have raised them up to be racist. Was it not in the X-Mart restaurant in Collingwood? They racialized my family. We were third in line. When our turn came for the table, they gave it to another white couple behind us with their two kids. I spoke up. Hello, we were next. I said, everybody here know we're next. We are the only black family here. So it was obvious when we came. Oh, I'm sorry. And he pointed to another corner. There's another table available there. I looked up. I saw the word toilet. I told him, you're sending my family to the back of the bus? He said, sir, I will ask you to leave here right now or else I call the police. I
Wow.
said to him, you don't even have to bother to call the police. Now, here's why I tell you the story. As I was about to exit, another white couple with two kids, two beautiful boys, blonde eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, sitting at the door to the exit. He said, get the hell out of here and stop playing the race card. That is a family that nothing concerned them. Those two kids, there's nothing you're going to tell them that they will not be racist except they meet God face to face. So my point is, it's not going anywhere. So one, know who you are. I knew who I was. So I said, you don't even have to call the police. I'm gone. We went to look for a better restaurant and paid more money and enjoy the meal. Two, you ain't going anywhere. You need to recognize that. Three, you have to recognize that you are there to create a better future for the next generation. In fact, I dare say you are not even there to create a better future for you, because the chances are before you try to make those changes, you either they fire you or you run away or you resign or you retire. Just like we saw people in the black class action lawsuit,
Yeah.
people who work for the federal government of Canada that have been working for 25 years and zero promotion. These are realities of us that we should come to terms with. So when I was in the bank, I saw the racism. I worked in three of the biggest banks and the number one technology company in Canada. And I helped to create a better tomorrow for the next influx of Black people to come into the organization. So these are things you should know. Know who you are. I can give you 21 irrefutable laws, but know who you are, number one. Build your confidence, your eloquence, and your intelligence. Be aware of what's going on. Have facts. And then know that this ain't going anywhere. So you are not there to move the mountain. You are there to shift it a bit, right? You can't disappear the mountain, so to speak, because that realization will help to manage your frustration. Because you can't expect to fix in a 10-year career something that happened for over 500 years of slavery and injustice. And then thirdly, of course, approach it with caution, with wisdom, with poise, with brilliance. There's nothing that really gets into the skin of people who are racist or racialized except a very brilliant, intelligent Black person. So be brilliant, be intelligent, equip yourself, empower yourself, be aware, know that this ain't going anywhere. You are not Martin Luther King. You are you. I'm Alex Ihama, and you are you, right? And then you take care of them.
Amazing, amazing. So know who you are. But for those, let's talk about those who are aspiring allies, right, in the workplace. What specific actions or behaviors would you recommend adopting to actively support and contribute to a more inclusive and anti-racist professional environment? Now, this is specifically for allies.
Now, allow me to honor those who consider themselves ally. I claps my hand in honor of you, Mr. Ally, Mrs. Ally, they, he, their ally. But allow me to also challenge you. What does that even mean? I was in a conference in Edmonton and they asked me this very same question.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them, my question back to the crowd was, how many of you here have the understanding of the origin of the word ally? No, I didn't say the meaning. I said the origin. Nobody in this huge conference. I didn't read it from my head. I Googled it right there. So this is from Google. Ally is a military term. Ally is used to say the Allied forces. You would have heard that during the Iraq War. The Allied forces during the Second World War. In fact, the word ally was magnified during wars, used to group those, listen to this, who are willing to die for the cause that doesn't even concern them. Those who are willing to die for the cause that don't concern them. Let me be clear. Hitler, I wrote this in my book, The Mystique of Leadership, on the topic, the chapter called Strategy. Hitler was killing Europe. Hitler already almost took over England, took over Czechoslovakia. All these countries were gone. The Americans now came in. Now we're talking ally. Of course, they saw that this at some point may concern them in the future, but right now, they stood. With the church, he have a message. He's online, what he's saying. So the American forces under General Eisenhower. General Eisenhower now created the Allied forces of almost how many millions of soldiers, 13 nations. And he unified them. He says, let's go die for the cause. Because if we don't fight now, they may engage us. Hitler may come after us tomorrow. So when we say ally, let's not confuse it for advocacy. Let's not confuse it for those who speak up to say, I think we should have a fair and equitable environment. Ally means you are willing to lay your job on the line, not even your life now, even though allyship is life. Let's at least bring it down a notch. You are willing to lay your job on the line. You are willing to go up. You are white and willing to go up against a forces of white board of directors and say, no, we need to have a program that will develop the black people in this organization for leadership position. We need to invest the money to make the stairways accessible for those who have disability. We need to, that is, so sooner or later, like, what's wrong with you? And I know some true allies, white folks that have become, we got a contract recently with the school board. I was speaking with some teachers there. And I say, how can I help you? What is the topmost? Many of them say, because we are teachers who volunteer to do equity committee. We're all white. It's a school, everybody's white. It says others are, they don't know how to influence others, and others are beginning to look at them with some funny faces and stuff, thinking there's no problem here, what you are doing. So basically, they were basically saying, they didn't say it in this way, but what they're saying is, how do we create more allies, right, to join us in the cause? So the first thing you want to think about is are you an ally or are you an advocate? They are both good, but different. So if you say you want to be an advocate, speak up, as I say, you see one, there's name one. If you see incidents of racism, you speak up. If you read something on the newspaper and you think it may in fact impact your organization, you speak up. But if you say you want to be a true ally, you have to have a strategic plan and you have to have a focus. What is the focus of your allyship? Martin Luther King was speaking to black injustice. Of course, he spoke to Indian injustice and this injustice, but they knew him predominantly for that. I see a lot of people venturing into LGBTQ group, venture to Muslim group, venture to this. Now, I speak up for everybody, but it is very clear where my focus is. For you to make a difference, identify where your true focus is. Secondly, educate yourself thoroughly about that interest, the group that you want to be ally for or advocate for. And then thirdly, ensure that you increase your own personal network of the people. So if you say, it's black people, I ask them, I say, how many of you here, if you look at the top 20 phone numbers you call in a month, how many percentage of them is black? Many of them, there's no black. And you're telling me you are allied to the black? You don't have black friends? You don't have some over in your home? You don't go to their home? You don't go to their community? You don't engage in events? Then you've not read the history of slavery? My friend, you may be a friend to the black, but you're not an ally. Because you can't be an ally based on zero information, right? And perhaps you may even be an advocate. You just, hey, Martin Luther King, let's go. But, where's the action? So those are some, again, I can give you more. Very important. Be very clear. Are you an ally or you're an advocate? Yeah. And then whichever one you are, what is my focus? What is my cause that I stand for, that I would rise up for? And if necessary, as Nelson Mandela said, Your Honor, it says social justice is a concept I've always believed in. I've always believed in the concept of equity, where the whites and the black can live together. He said, but the way things are going right now, and come what way, if necessary, Nelson Mandela said before he was sentenced to 27 years, he said, it is a cause I'm willing to die for.
How, Coach, a lot of us, in this space, diversity and inclusion, this fight against racism, you see, I can't speak to all for everyone, but I see a lot, sometimes it's performative. How do you help organization avoid being just, another checkbox? Okay, we've done this. We have, our black person here. What do you tell them?
It's two questions you ask. One is how do you help them? One is what do you tell them, right? Let me answer the first one. What do you tell them? It's simple. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up to the signs of time. Wake up to the reality of the workplace evolution. Wake up to the future. It's happening. We can't resist the change we are faced with. You can be there for 5, 10 years and you can say, yeah. I'm telling you, very sooner or later, your stock price will drop drastically. You won't believe it. And if you are not careful, the social justice movement itself will run you out of business. People need to understand this. The class action lawsuit is an opening. There have been cases in California. You can even Google it. An employee was awarded, $13 million for being racialized in an elevator. I read it the other day. I'm like, damn, right? Apple, Elon Musk, what's his name? His company, Tesla. They've paid money. It's coming. The wave of repercussion will find you out. And that's the truth. That's the truth. As Martin Luther King said, they gave us a check, but the check bounced, right? It bounced, right? So wake up. You don't do lip service when you are opening up a new location in Montreal. You don't do lip service if you are investing in stocks in San Francisco. You don't do lip service if you are, even if you are taking your executive for a retreat in Switzerland. You want to do lip service for social justice? Wake up. That's what I'll say. Because if you know you are doing lip service, then this message is for you. Now, if you don't know you are doing lip service, but you are trying to do some things and you are not really sure what to do, let me honor you, my friend. Listen, the first place of progress is to understand that you don't know enough. The person you are seeing here, people think I know. I don't. I spend 4 to 6 hours learning every day. Learning, intentional learning, not the ones I learn on the go. So you first of all recognize where you are. And then what I'm going to say is seek help. You can't do it by yourself. Impossible to the nth degree. You can't. Many people have run survey. We want to run a survey with employees. Then they come, Alex, people didn't do survey. How are they going to do survey? They don't trust you. That's the truth. There is not an insult. The employees will not trust the survey that come within the organization. That's why we at the Canadian Congress, we've built a platform, we've built a process, we've built a system that can get 80% of survey response. You don't get that. People don't, even you research on Google, they tell you 40% is good. 40% is not good. If 40% of your employee respond to your survey, you don't have data to work with. You need 70, 80%, and we can pull it. We can pull it because we have a system at the Canadian Congress on Inclusive Diversity and Workplace Equity. Like my friend just said, Google us. We'll be there to help you. We know how to solicit it. We've done work for major organizations, arms of the government, Corrections Canada, Public Procurement of Canada, Canada Basketball Canada, Game United Way, City of Brampton, CIBC, Bank of Montreal, Royal Bank, Scotiabank, and many of them. We've done many work. We have built this end-to-end process that will do it. So again, if you are doing lip service and you are just kind of doing a checkbox, one day to catch up with you. I'll leave you that your response is 2 seconds. The other side, seek help. Doesn't matter, your CEO may be black, seek help. Your CFO may be black woman, seek help. Because if you are a part of the system, it is a challenge to change it from within.
From within.
I'll leave you with a quotation from Albert Einstein, I think. It says, you cannot fix a problem with the same mindset that created it in the first place.
Yeah. So for those organizations, say, wake up, get with the times. But for the employees that are in the line of fire, that are, struggling, in silence, how, the situations where, individuals encounter racially insensitive remarks or behaviors, how can they effectively communicate and assert themselves without jeopardizing professional relationships? What would you tell those employees?
Yes, what I'll tell you is, again, I clasp my hand in honor of you. If you are one of those employees that's within an inequitable environment, one of those employees that is being racialized, if you're one of those that are being marginalized and minoritized and hypnotized, if even in your organization, I want to encourage you to first always learn self-care, mental health, because if you are not careful, you'll become a very angry person. And the day you are going to open your mouth, all they are going to see is the anger. You don't want that at all. So self-care. You have to get to the point of being racialized and yet being able to control your emotional intelligence, conversational intelligence, and leverage what I call the power of questioning. Right? We've had situations where a black person says his boss's boss saw him the other day for the first time. I said, "Oh, where are you from?" He now said, "Oh, from Bahamas." He's a black man. I said, "Bro, man." I said, "Oh, wow, you must be living your dream in Canada." He didn't say anything. When he told me, and he said, "What would I have said?" I said, "I would have taken a deep breath, because obviously you're angry. Take a deep breath and says, 'Oh, that's interesting you say that, Mr. Ray. Why would you, when you say I'm living my dream, what exactly do you mean?' 'Oh, well, I mean, Like, like Canada is a great country. No, let them. The more they struggle, the more they dig themselves in the hole. No matter what they say, find another question to ask. Find another question to ask until you help him see his level of ignorance. What am I saying? You are going to need a high level of intelligence to be able to navigate the terrain of racism. It's not by passion. There is no way passion has put food on the table. In fact, when you go fishing, I'm passionate about fishing, and you stay there. If you don't cast the net or cast the hook, you ain't gonna catch no fish. You can be passionate. There are many passionate people that go watch soccer. When you give them the ball, they don't know what to do with it, right? So passion is great. Passion is not a remedy. In fact, hope is not a strategy either. They can't keep hoping things will change. Things don't just change, right? People make change happen. So those are some tips. Health, self-care, very important. And if you don't feel capable, please find another job. Don't die there. Don't let them crush your mental health. Don't let them crush your confidence. Leave. Now, that's whether I find another job. I'd rather go on EI than stay in a place where my value is devalued every single day.
Wow, great advice. Were you always this way? What was your experience like? You mentioned you were in the banking industry. Were you always this person who always
Okay.
you are, you know where you wanted to go, and this is how it is?
My first time, the interview for the job, they hired me. Orientation, we were all in class. You see all these fine people. Then they'll say, introduce yourselves. I say, oh, my name is Ray. I have my master's from McMaster. I just came from, I'm new in country. So I thought you get master, McMaster only give master's degree. I think that is what I thought. I just stand up, oh, my name is this from York University. I'm like, I did not know New York have a branch of university in Toronto. Like, I was that naive. It's not a joke I make fun, but I was that naive. I didn't, for me, when it got to my turn, I say, my name is Alex Ihama. I was thinking, if I say University of Benin City, Nigeria, the only thing that may strike them is Nigeria. The University of Benin City, that one will just zoom. So there was no need to even say, I just said, my name is Alex Ihama and I'm from Nigeria. They all looked at me with those kind of eyes of, don't worry, I don't know if people have looked at you feeling sorry for you. But, on orientation day, the VP came, Jeff Candela. He was just walking around. Yeah, I'm a VP. I've been here forever. And I do this and I do this. I just came on my yacht and stuff. I was looking, I said, I can do this guy's job. I was just looking, I'm like, damn. I'm like, I want his job. Now, what I didn't even know then, and frankly, I didn't care, was between me and him, there were almost 7 levels. That means you die before you get there. People that get there, Ray, they come from outside and straight in there. They orchestrate them in there. They're all white, right? They're all white, right? There's no black at the top. No, the 3, 4, 5, 6 levels, no black. So, but I still wanted this job anyway. To answer your question, lo and behold, in less than 18 months, 16 months, half of that class were reporting to me. By the time it was 2 years, 3 years, all of them were reporting to me. By then it was 4 years, 5 years, they don't even see me anymore. There was no others in Facebook and LinkedIn there. They only, intranet is what we call it. They see me on intranet. I was moving with the big wigs. Like, how did I get there? To your question. Because I always spoke up. My first job was a customer service. Bank of Montreal, Alex speaking. How may I help you today? What the effing accent? The customer will say. They say there's an opportunity in the French line. You get $1, so $13.50 for English, $14.50 for French, and I speak French. Je dis, ok, pas de problème. Je parle Banque de Montréal, Alex. Comment je peux vous aider? C'est quoi ce bordel-là? Comment accent tu vas voir là? They passed on me in English and French. So I went to my boss. His name is Hasidabe. Don't know if he's still alive, but I found him, tried to find him on LinkedIn when George Floyd died. I couldn't. He's not on LinkedIn. But I went to him. I said, why are they insulting us like this? Why? Like, I knew we often say the customer is always right. I knew that wasn't entirely true, but I wasn't able to defend it. Mm-hmm. So I've always spoken up. And eventually, I went beyond my boss's boss, and I found my way to the HR executive, Johnny Michelle, fine woman. And Johnny said, okay, Alex, what do you recommend we do? I didn't even have an answer. That was the first time I'm like, I said, but would you allow me to think about it? He said, sure. And I went to think about it, and I said, Then I saw something in Canada they call potluck. I said, this one, that'll be a good one, potluck. Everybody brought their food. I brought fried plantain and jollof rice, and people brought the Jamaican paddy. And people were like, this is nice. This is nice. Everybody loved it. And the VP, everybody's like, Alex. Then they give me an award, diversity award. I had that diversity award. That was my first speech I gave. That was in 1999, August. Since then, I've given over 12,000 speeches in 400 cities in over 40 nations since that time, right? So I've always believed in social justice. I've always believed that righteousness and justice are the foundations of doctrine and must therefore be the foundations of any sustainable success in life. I've always believed that in everybody lies the spirit of greatness, and it is our responsibility to create an opportunity and avenue for people to try. I've always believed that no one has the right to tell you who you are, especially if you say you are not. You can't call me a monkey. You can't say the N-word for me. You can't tell me my accent is. Who the hell are you to try to put me in a box? I have always believed that speaking up is the least we can do, if not for ourselves, but for the next generation. In fact, I was kicked out of primary school because I always spoke, kicked out of secondary school because I always spoke, kicked out of university then because I always spoke. I spoke up against anything that was injustice. I spoke up against my pastor once when I saw that the single mothers were not getting treated well in the church. And they kicked me out of the church too. So you can kick me out of this TV station right now. It doesn't change anything for me. I speak up. I identify, not just I identify, I am a man. I don't just identify, I'm a man. And I'm a black man, originally from Africa. I choose to be called African Canadian, but if you call me black, that's fine too. And I am a Christian, and my values are non-negotiable. Even there was a time the people say you can't say Merry Christmas in work. My goodness, I couldn't wait for Christmas. I'm waiting, Christmas come, Christmas come. And I sent an email to the president, and I copied everybody as if it's by mistake. You're not supposed to do that, but there's a group. This group, people that have done that mistake, they get in trouble. Group everybody. This is almost 30,000, 40,000 employees. I just dragged it in there. I said, as many of you go on holidays, remember the reason for the season. It is Christmas, the birth of Jesus Christ. Whether you celebrate it or not, we that celebrate it and those that celebrate it, please enjoy. Those that don't, I say, happy holidays. So I still tell you happy holiday, but I can't take my Merry Christmas because I want to tell you happy holiday. Are you kidding me? It's this time we speak up. If you can teach your children to speak up, if you can become a person that speaks up, you will see your life change. When my pay was increased over 1,000% in the bank because I spoke up. 2 employees leave the team. They tell you they will replace them, and they don't replace them. And 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you are working overtime because 2 people are not there. I got to my boss. I said, boss, are we replacing these 2 people? Yes, we are. I said, when? He said, give us 60 days. I count down 60, 59, 58, 57, 56. Yeah. I'm just like, Jesus. The moment the 60 days expire, I go back. Carmen, what's going on? He said, yes, I think there's. I said, okay, okay, so here's what I propose. Before we fill that person up, give us interim raise. If you fill them, you take it. Or if you think you want to save the money of not replacing them, then just give us a raise. And we got raises. Alex, but we only give raise once a year in the bank. I say, Gami, are you telling me there's nobody in this bank that gets raised twice a year, 3 times a year? There's gonna be an exception. I say the 2 people that leave, I know what they used to make, 65,000 a year at 62. That's 120. And by the way, that's not including the benefit that we save when they are no longer here, the health care, the dental care. I say, dude, man, we're about to save $200,000. Just increase our pay. I'm asking 6, 7%, 10. That still gives you about 150 in your pocket. So when I got Perez, speaking up.
Speak up.
Teach your children to speak up.
Speak up. Coach, yeah. I mean, everyone's going to watch this is going to see the energy that you bring. Obviously, I'm going to put your link, your information to your book, your website, and all the information on there. I'd like to thank you. I like to end things by saying that, we learn today and we lead tomorrow. And today you just gave us a master class. I thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy man speaking around the globe, but you took some time for me and I appreciate that.
Yes. And let me say, I met you in person, so this is not somebody you say you connected with me on LinkedIn. I love your energy as well. You were the host at that event, did fantastic work. And
Thank
the
you.
fact that what you are doing right now, you may not know it, you are saving souls. There are people that are going to watch this and will never send you feedback. They may not even click on like on it, but you would have made their life better. So, however I can help advance the cause, we're all heading the same direction, but just in different ways. However I can advance the cause for you, just let me know. So thank you. I do respect you and I honor you as well, my friend and my brother.
Thank you so much, brother.
Okay. God bless.